Let's go to Facebook. Hi everyone. I trust you're well. Let's just check if I'm really live. Look on my phone. Yes, I am live. Welcome, welcome everyone. Please, when you're coming through Facebook, just type hello. We want to see the love from you guys. Let me see if I'm seeing any comments before we start. Okay. So welcome everyone. It's Sunday, it's the 8th of August, and I have Sphesihle, Masogana with me. And yeah, it's going to be an awesome 30 minutes, I think, or more. It will depend on how engaging you are and what questions you have for us. So myself, let me just introduce myself. Oh, I see, before I introduce, I see there are people joining us on, on Zoom as well. Thank you to those who are coming through, we appreciate. And everyone who has joined in live, please remember to ask questions. Okay, so welcome once more. Anyone from Facebook, from YouTube, from Zoom, welcome everyone for prioritizing this time. The session was supposed to be earlier and I was stuck in a class. And then I had to move it, and yeah, we're sorry that it's a bit late, but it's never late. We are here, the session is still carrying on. So I am transformation coach Mashudu Mbele. I'm also a negative emotional therapy practitioner. I'm also a metallurgist. I'm also a member of Way is Women Emancipate Yourself Foundation. I think that is where I got courage more to do work with women, to empower women as well. So that is where I also have my sisterhood there, and the sisterhood that I currently have wherever I have. I've got soul sisters, so whoever is in my life has got a special place that they add value into my life and they make me look at life differently. So you might ask yourself, what does a transformation coach do? So basically, I help people to get rid of their mental and their emotional baggages, as well as their negative belief system which are sabotaging their lives, so that they can master their own lives, so that they can be successful, so that they can be happier. It can be someone who's going through depression, who's going through anxiety, divorce, feeling lonely, feeling not good enough, or going through issues with relationships, or even them not loving themselves, or someone who's got issues with their body image. So the list is endless. And yeah, that's enough about me. Let me tell you about what is joining the conversation. So this is, I think, yes, it's the third session since we started. It started on the first. It will be going throughout the rest of August, where I'm interviewing women from all walks of life. So if today you're listening to this and you feel like you want to participate and you've got a message for women or for anyone in the world, it's not only specifically for women, you might have a message for even for men, for young people who are listening as well. So do type comment. It could be here on Zoom or also on my Facebook. So do send us messages. I would like to engage with you. So it's about empowering people. Everyone has got a message, because what I've seen is that somebody's story, like yesterday's session, is like somebody's story just opened up so many opportunities, so many doors, and might be planting seeds. So never feel like you're not good enough. Your story will heal somebody, will plant a seed to someone. And like today with my guest, I believe she's gonna plant seeds to so many people. We've got so many questions. When she told me about what she wanna speak about, I'm like, yes, let's talk about this. So yeah, I think you heard what is join the conversation. If you wanna participate, type. But throughout this session, type if there are any questions from what specifically saying. If you've got questions for me that I need to ask her, do that as well. I'll ask her on your behalf as well. So welcome my guest and everyone who has tuned in. I see we've got Vuyo, we've got Shiara as well on our Facebook. Thank you. So guys, do share on your Facebook. Please do share. You find that somebody needs to hear this message. Do share this live on your to your friends, or you can tag your friends to come through. So let me hand it over to our guest of honor. Can you please introduce yourself to the people?
Thank you, Ntieni. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much for organizing such beautiful conversations for all the women in South Africa and also around the world. I think it's an amazing opportunity for everyone. Even out there, if you have a great story, please, you know, catch up with DNA. This is an amazing opportunity, and for us as women to connect together and share what we learn and what we can learn from each other. So in into that, let me just introduce myself. My name is Sphesihle Masogana. Um, Other than me, I'm yet to be a mother of two. I'm currently pregnant. Personally, and I'm married to a wonderful, handsome husband. And I have a degree in, I'm a geologist by profession. However, currently I'm a business advisor at Richards Bay Minerals. I started my career at a very young age. I presume at about an age of 21 years. And I studied at Vet University, and I have fast tracked so much my career in a matter of few 7 to 9 years so far. However, it did not start so smooth. However, when I got opportunities, I made sure that I worked so hard to be able to fast track my career to a point where I am currently. I have a business that I'm currently running also. I am also studying. I am doing a business diploma at in administration at Wits University, but that's part time, which is very sometimes really struggling with because as I've said, I'm a mother of one and I'm also carrying another child currently. And it becomes hectic when you are married and you have children and you have work and you also have to study at the same time. So that's me personally, my life from childhood to now.
Thank you for the introduction. And before I even ask you questions that I prepared for you, is how do you juggle all these priorities? To someone who's listening, you're studying, you're running a business, you're an employee, you've got a young child, you've got another one, you recently got married. How do you do it?
Whew, I must say, to be honest, Shudu, it's all about the support and also being able to prioritize what's important and also time management. Supports, the first one supports, I'd say I did allow myself self to say I'm not a superwoman. And as much as I love my kids and I love my child currently, I need to allow myself to have time where I'm not able to be with him and time when I'm able to be with him. Um, and then the second one is supporting by my husband has supported me so much in terms of getting someone who can assist with the child at home when I'm working or when I'm out doing business or when I'm studying. So in a matter of time management, also it's a matter of putting hours that you know that at a certain hour I'm doing this and at a certain hour I'm doing that. So my schedule per se is, for instance, in the morning I go to work and I make sure that I do everything at work. I'm a professional. I don't get paid overtime. That's how I look at things. So I don't get paid overtime, meaning I can't work on my personal time. Hence, every minute and every second when I'm at work counts. Hence, I'm doing what Richards Bay Minerals requires me and is paying me to do. And when I leave work, that is my son's time, that is my husband's time, and that is my studying time. And then on weekends, I run my business. So that is how I try to balance everything all together.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. And you just touched on time management, and most people they struggle with time management, how they allocate, and as much as we're given 24 hours in a day, they'll say, "Oh, my time
Yeah.
ran out." So thank you for sharing that. And welcome to Sis Nigi and Google are with us here on Zoom, and I see on Facebook we've got Philita. Philita said she'll pass because she's not married. Philita, there is a message for you. That's why you came through in the first place. Please don't go away. Then we got Business, we've got Nomfundo. Welcome guys, we've got Richard. So welcome guys. If you've got any questions from what she's already said, or if you've got questions in terms of what she's going to tell us about new age marriage, so do ask any question that comes through. And throughout, if you are someone who's going to listen to this type replay, and if you've got questions for us, just type them. I'll make sure that she comes back and responds to them. And thank you for just prioritizing us and investing in yourself to learn something and hear the message that she's going to give us. So going to my first question, so tell us about new age marriage. What is it? Because when you wrote it, I was like, what is she talking about? So educate me and everyone who's here.
Mashuru, that's the term me and my husband use for our marriage. And new age marriage is how okay, it's the young nowadays couple marriage. If I can explain it, there is the 21st century marriage and then also the marriage back in the days where our mothers for say would sit at home and they would the father would go to work and come and provide for the family. And then another thing that you also need to think about is the economy um, did allow that situational marriage to be at play or to be able to work. Currently, with our economical state and where we are, and desires and goals in terms of personal achievements before even getting to being married together, it's not allowing us to be in that type of a situation. And the new age marriage, the way me and my husband talk about, is where we able financially, emotionally, and physically, any other way in the marriage to be one. And how do I say that? I think we have we have been told by parents that especially in the financial side, physical side, emotional. Yes, emotional can be a bit skewed for women. However, financial side has always been not skewed, but only skewed more to the men. Meaning, most women, even some of my friends who are married, they say, I eat my money and my husband does everything. And my question would come and say, so how do you think your husband is going to provide and have growth in your family and build generational wealth, which is where most of us want to go to, and where most of us want to build for our name or our family name. So do you think that's achievable? I don't think so. And the new age marriage says, per se, our own way of thinking, it says to us, we need to be one financially, emotionally, physically, in every way. So what you put in is what I also put in. Irregardless that I have 60%, I earn 60% or you earn 40%. However, at the end, we're building something that both of us are going to reap off from. I'm going to make an example for you. How do people like Connie and Shona, Beyonce and Jay-Z, and every other power couples there in the world make it? It's something that we need to think about. And I believe people are they're still sitting in a state where the man does everything. And also in the women's side, in terms of you have to cook, you have to wash, you have to do everything. In my marriage, it's not like that. My husband can take clothes and put them in the washing machine and do that. He cooked yesterday, just yesterday, and I wasn't cooking. So the new age marriage comes there where there's that, I wouldn't say 50-50 because I'm still in a traditional marriage myself, but there is a hand in hand in helping each other and understanding the state economically where we are in South Africa or in the world as a whole. And once we align ourselves personally and also in our marriage in terms of that, then I believe we would be having less percentages of divorce, more percentages of having couples like Shona and Connie and on other couples where we able to build together, have businesses, support each other. When I come up with an idea, my husband never says no. He says, "Drop it down. Let's look at it. Let's take the money and invest." That's about it. So um, that's what I mean about the new age marriage. Sorry about that, and please sorry for my son. He's quite fussy these days. If you can hear him, yeah. So that's the new age marriage that we or me and my husband term it to be.
So just a further question from me. I see we've got Kusa as well. Welcome and welcome to everyone just joining in. So what prompted this? Did you before you when you were going through the preparation for this marriage, what sparked this new age marriage?
Okay, so me and my husband, fortunately, we dated longer than I'd say normal couples. I don't know. We dated for 7 years before we went into marriage, and we were so best friends, so much best friends, and we spoke about a lot of things. And I'd say one important factor was both of us think alike. I wouldn't say 100%, but 75% to 80% we think alike and we want the same things in life. Meaning I do want to create generational wealth for my kids and for my family. And he also believes the same thing. And having the same goals as a couple and having the same goals in marriage, it results to less less I'd say less arguments, less being jealousy to your partner, less taking your partner back from doing what they're supposed to be doing in their life or their passion. So it creates more positivity in the marriage and also to your partner than negativity towards anything that you want to achieve.
Thank you for that. Any questions? Is there anyone who's got questions for Sphesihle? Let me just check on Facebook. I'm not seeing any. And here with my other panel that I have, any questions? Okay, no, that's fine. So, okay, there is one. Let me just see. We've got Francine as well. Welcome, Francine. She's saying marriage in this day and age may be a scary thought. What is one piece of advice you can give to young women so that they can look forward entering into marriage?
think, Mashuru, there's so many, but I'll try to give one. Um, know
Maybe
yourself.
make it two or three. Is that
Okay,
fine? Okay.
okay. The first one is know yourself. As you, as an individual, know the person that you are, appreciate yourself, love yourself before you get into marriage with someone else. When you know yourself, you know your boundaries, you know when to say no, you know when to say yes, you know what is applicable to you, and that makes it easier to be able to infuse someone else into your life. The second one is I don't know how I can say this, but when I dated with that factor that I wanted someone who would fit into the character that I am in, that I am personally. And so is my husband was that way because I used to tell him, when we were friends before that, I want to get married to a businessman. I just don't want to get married to anyone. And when I call that with the universe, and also when I was dating, I looked for that in a male. So the second factor would be when you're dating, or if you're currently dating right now, you're not married, have that back of your mind that you're not willing to sacrifice this and that and that and that. This is what you want. It makes it easier when you in the marriage inside with that person, that you know that you'll never 100% get someone that fits things that you want. There will be things that you don't like, but let at least 70% or 60% be things that you appreciate, the things that you want that man to be. So that's the second thing. Then the third point, the values that you guys share, look for something that, or look for someone that you share the same values on. If you are a woman that appreciates this 21st century marriage where you can help each other, or you can put your money in and he can put his money in, you need to get someone who's thinking like that, because there are men out there who don't want women at all. I have friends who says my husband doesn't want me to do anything with my money, and he just wants to do everything. I've also have a friend who says I don't want to do anything with my money. I want to pamper myself. I want to do everything for myself, and he has to take care of the kids of the house and everything. So you'll never change a person in terms of that perspective. You need to find someone that fits into what you want, or the model of marriage that you want. I think those are the advices that I'd give, apart from, yes, being in love and emotions and all that. But we still need to also have a sense of maturity to who this person is and how I'm getting into marriage, because we all about lovey-dovey in the beginning, but then when the years go by, then you start waking up and saying, oh my god, he's a drunkard, he's abusive, he's this and this, and already you're in the marriage. And one last point, Mashuru, is I'd really advise girls not to be very quick at saying yes to getting married to a man that they've just met. A year for me is not enough to make a decision and see the spots that that person is hiding, or that person is exactly how that person is, because love is amazing in the beginning. However, as years go by, you need to learn to appreciate each other. You need to learn to love the things that the other person doesn't like, or what you don't like to the other person. So when you appreciate the snoring that he has, when you appreciate that he puts clothes in the bathroom and he doesn't pick up anything, when you appreciate that he just eats and leaves his plate like that, so you at a point where you can survive marriage. But however, when you're at a point where you haven't learned this guy, you haven't learned this man to a point that you know that you can sit with this person forever, That's how I take marriage. It's forever. Then you in the good marriage, or you're in the marriage that you want to be in, or possibilities of being divorced are quite very low.
Wow, that was a mouthful. Wow, thank you for that. I saw lots of heart on Facebook as you're speaking. You're really touching people's hearts. And what you just mentioned, it's about knowing yourself. It resonates from the theme which has been coming throughout this conversation. Like yesterday, Sis Gugu
Yeah.
spoke about knowing yourself is key. So knowing yourself is key in every way. It doesn't have to be marriage, but everywhere where you are. And I see there's a comment as well from Cisco says values are quite key. When ignored, it definitely catches up
Yeah.
as time goes as well. And then on the other side, Francine says she loves it. Thank you so much. And as you're talking, it reminded me it's last year, same time, I was running a Zoom session. It was a class where it was about relationship station, talking about how do you go about looking for someone. Because at times, what you have been conditioned, you just when somebody says they love you, and when you just say yes, but you never look at the values and the
Yeah.
whether are you aligned or whether when you've got issues. So I was teaching people how they can go about interviewing this person, knowing what is their vision, what is their goals, and then just testing. It doesn't mean somebody says they want to date you, just say yes on that day. Interview them like you get interviewed when you get to
Yeah.
work, when you go for a job, because there's so many people, and after that you'll end up with the decisions that you regret. So wow, thanks for summarizing that. And yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions. So I'll go to the second one. Thank you for sharing that. It's about the influence of women in the new world. Tell us more about that. What do you mean by that?
Okay. So recently I had a son. And then I'm currently, as I said, I'm currently pregnant with a daughter. And this has changed my life vastly. I'd say basically I was a new Sphesihle all over again. And then I realized that I have so much influence on this boy, because my boy can now understand when I say no, when I can say yes, and I say take this, in Zulu though. And I realized that women, everyone, everyone in the whole world has came out from our stomachs. They've came out from our hands and from us, giving birth to them or feeding them or anything. Basically, women have that power to change humanity towards the future. I'm not talking about women only, I'm talking about men and women. So it's time that when we raising our kids, we're raising our kids in a way that I want to see a better man in the future. I want to see a better women in the future from this particular human being. Me and my husband always say we don't look at our kids as our kids. Yes, they are kids, but we look at them as their own characters and their own human beings. And when we are raising them up, we raise them out. We're raising our son currently, Anzani, in a way that you need to be a better man for your wife. You need to be a better man for the world. You need to be a better man for some people out there that you're going to be living out with. So women have so much power that we haven't realized, that we can literally change the world in terms of have influence per se, even if it can be 20% TNE, or it can be 40% towards changing humanity or creating human beings character-wise and mentally towards people that can bring positivity towards this world. That's what I mean by influence of women towards this world. And most of us are mothers. Most of us are going to be mothers. Most of us have been mothers. How do we train our kids to be better human beings? And I believe we all have that power to do that. If I can train my child to be a better human being, um, 50% or 60%, that can be dropped to about 20%. Why? Because Mashudu did not raise up his kid or her kid to a way that it's supposed to be good for other human beings. When I take my child to the creche or to the place, the to school, perhaps, let's say to the nursery. And then Mashudu's child comes and swears at my son, and my son is learning the same thing from the child. Or in high school, I didn't teach my son well, he's smoking, and then influences Mashudu's son, who has been raised up quite well in a household where they go to church, or even not they're not going to church, but he knows what smoking is not good for my lungs. It has all these other things that are influential not to my health. And then my son influences your son, and then now we're getting more men that are worse for humanity. So hence I'm saying that not one woman can achieve this. It's all women around the world that can achieve this. If I can and raise my child in the right way that I think is the best for him or for the human, or for the world out there, when you raise up your child in a different way that is not good for the world, therefore um, possibilities of influential in terms of age are much very high, and we're getting more men that are abusive, more men that are drunkards, more men that don't have direction in life, and rather than being able to have progressive or more human beings that are able to to be positive, bring positivity towards the world. I'm also going to make another example. There are generational houses where a mother had kid or had a child at a very young age, perhaps let's say 13 or 14 years, or sometimes 18 years or 20. And then when that person has a daughter, the daughter will also have a child at maybe doing grade 11 or doing grade 10 or doing grade 12. And that child will also have a child at also a similar. But who breaks that, where do you say no? I don't want to raise my child the same way my mom raised me, or the same way my mother's mom raised my mom. Do you understand? So we need to have that point where we can break those chains and say, I choose to raise my child differently, and I choose to bring a better human being to the world. And all women, all mothers have that opportunity to do that.
I'm speechless. Thank you for those nuggets of wisdom. And my takeaway from what you just mentioned is about conscious parenting. How do we
Yeah,
become conscious parents? How do we break generational curses? And how do we talk about the moral degeneration is something which we spoke about yesterday in the session, no sis group as well. So I'm just seeing patterns, and it's so amazing that same message is coming through differently. It means we really need to talk about these things, and
yeah,
it's now or
yeah,
never. And the fact that you just made an example of as much as you're raising a child now and to be like this, and the moment they go to society, they get influenced by that. So
yeah,
the question is, how do you assist them? How do we make them to be capable? How do we make them to manage that as well? And as well, you also mentioned about the kids, they are there. What I learned lately is that the kids that we have, they are planted in our lives
yeah,
so that we can learn and unlearn new things. There are things that they need to teach us, and you are just saying it with this new pregnancy, how it's changing your life, how it's changing your perspective. And thank you for sharing that. And there's Anna says that's wonderful. So there's still lots of hearts coming through from Facebook. And then there's a comment here on Zoom. It says from Sisnigi, it says specific important points you mentioned. Knowing yourself and being authentic is key. Not generalizing, but my challenge is some young ladies want wealth, but not working hard. So
Yeah.
dependent, nothing driving them to succeed. So how do we get to be tuned? How can they get tuned? What can they do?
Okay. I think there's this one first thing that's most important we should do is start. Start. The problem for us is we think, we plan, we write, we type, we research, but we never start. Never start. So you need to start. That's the first important thing. To be tuned in, you need to start. Because when you start, you can fail, you can learn, you can improve, you can be able to move, even if that business will fail, Mashuru, even if that business will not pass or will not give you any profits, but you will learn so much that the next business that you're going to do is going to be better. I have done 3 businesses in my life. I failed at 2 and I'm currently busy with one. I did one in university and I ran out of customers, meaning my market went out because I was selling Tommies by that time, and Tommies were the new thing. Every student wanted them, they were comfortable. And then at some point, Vans came in, Alters came in, and then all the way, shucks, my business just went down the line. But I learned so much from that. To tell you, I learned a lot of things. And then I went to the commercial business of be able to borrow people money and all that and interest and all that. But at some point with growth, it just never gelled with me and I left it and I'm currently busy with something else currently. So the tuning is start the business. Even if you can say I'm starting with the 100 rands that I have, or I'm starting, just start. You will see along the way, you'll figure it out along the way. You'll ask people what to do along the way. Just start. And then when you start, you will see you won't be able to sleep because you're thinking about the next thing that you want to do. You won't be able to sleep because there's a supplier that's giving you problems, or there's someone that you want to negotiate with a better price for something that you want. So that those thoughts and all those things that are coming in terms of, hey, there's this supplier, he's not giving me the best price that I want, or I just want to launch this business to be like this, and you there's so many things that are going to go on in your mind, but it will keep you so much busy to a point where you tuned in, other things are blocked out. It's the same as when you're studying in university. If you're struggling with a certain course, it you can't sleep. It's living in your mind to a point where you're saying to yourself, oh my god, tomorrow I'm attending this class, I need to study this thing, I don't know it, or I need to see professor who so and so and so and be able to explain to me. So the most important thing, Tieni, I can't stress this so much. You need to start. I've had so many business ideas in my life, and I'd say 70 or 80% of them, I've never started them. And my husband would say to me, you're wasting your life and you're wasting your ideas on things that are being can be practical and can make you money. We've traveled so much to a point where when we see things that I've thought about and they're being done on those towns, or they're being done in that particular area, he'll say, see, I told you this thing can make money. So I never started it. I just thought about it. I planned, I did the research. I said, baby, no, it's gonna work like this and that and that. But never starts it. So the most important thing, be tuned, start. You'll see anything else or everything else along the way.
Thank you so much. So, guys, you just need to start that idea. That is why it's there. That is why you are here on this planet. Maybe that is why you are here. You have to serve that purpose and add value wherever you are. So, if you start from what you said, you can learn to fail, you can learn to improve, and you can learn to do other things. Thank you so much. I see we've got also McTavish, guys. Welcome. So do share this post so that it can build other people, so that you can plant seeds to other people. So can you tell us about your business? Tell us about your business, or is it something you want to talk about, or you're fine? The third one, because I listened to you, just spoke about two, and you just MIS us. If you don't want to talk about it, still fine.
Okay. Um okay. The business is registered currently. Okay, two. The first one is traditional. So I hire traditional outfits to ceremonies. That I'd say to me is having more income, but also being able to learn traditions and the amazingness of going out there and look at your tradition and being busy. When you're not busy, you get to a point of comfortability and you lose yourself. I got to that point in my life and it drove me back. So that business is just for me to be busy. It is making profit, but not in a way that I say it's going to create generational wealth for my family. No. However, the second one, that's the one I'm more in love with. I have natural hair, and I cook my own. Um, I'd say I cook my own hairline. So I have a hairline currently hasn't been launched. The business is registered. I do my own shampoo. I do my own conditioner. I do my own a hair cream. So everything of that is my hair to be to that point has always been me just sitting at a point and putting ingredients together and admiring my natural hair. So I'd love to take the same recipes to other Black women out there because it's only for Afro, and it doesn't apply. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply to other, you know, uh, other types of hair. It's for Afro hair, and it's for us appreciating our hair as it is, and helping our hair to grow stronger, and how and make it shine and make it beautiful. So Mashudu, you know me. I'm you. I don't think you've ever seen me in a different hair, like the hair that they buy at shops and all that. I'm always natural all the time. That's the reason. So I really love my hair, and that this business, I believe, would be good for women out there to appreciate their hair, and also having it in an affordable way, because currently, yes, we have fought so much to get products that are good for natural hair to normal shops like Clicks and Discam. However, they are expensive. I haven't seen any um, good hair products for natural hair that is below 100 rand. The one other one that I will not name that is below 100 rand is not really good. The really good ones are above 100 rand each. So it makes it much more difficult for us. And if for me, I can afford it, how about someone who is disadvantaged financially and will not be able to afford that, but still want to have very amazing or very nice, healthy, natural hair that they can grow, and also encourage their daughters to grow. And I'd say less market towards the natural hair, but however, I believe black women needs to be able to. I'm not saying synthetic hair is bad, but I'm saying as black women, we need to speak more positively about our hair and love our hair and be able to influence other black women to be able to love their hair and boldly go to a boardroom with your natural big hair and boldly be able to respond to someone who's saying your hair is fluffy or bad or anything and just tell them it's my hair, and because yours is flowy doesn't mean that my hair is bad. So there's just so much learning. Currently, when I started growing my hair, I influenced my sister's daughters, two daughters. They both have afro right now. My sister has an afro. So I have three people in my life, in within my surrounding, that I have influenced to say, you need to appreciate your hair. And I believe I'm gonna do the same thing with my daughter I'm currently having right now, that I want you to have or appreciate your black hair. Yes, put your synthetic hair if you want, but do appreciate your black hair when you have it out there and you're showing it out to people.
Thank you for sharing. Yesterday, when you talk about hair, I had a friend, she's got an interview on Wednesday. She was saying, what can I do about my hair? I went like, do you have short hair? She says, yes, it's fine. We just comb it, look it nice. She says, no, I need to go and plait it. I'm like, you look good, but just make sure you look beautiful. You can feel that and all that. It was kind of interesting, and thank you for sharing that. And before I read the other comments, do you have your social handles where people can reach out to you in terms of the traditional clothes and all that? Or
Currently,
not
I'm
yet?
using my
Okay.
I'm using just WhatsApp and my business number, and I can share with you. I can share it on the chat. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just share
Okay.
it on the
Just
chat.
share
And
it.
I haven't yet created Instagram and Facebook handles for my business, to just say it out. As I've said, when you start, just start, and you'll fear everything else along the way. And it's where I'm progressing to go. I still want to get there, but at the moment, it's still WhatsApp communications, phone calls, and getting the appointment, and that's about it.
Okay, thank you. So, guys, if you are listening, you're on this part, so just check on the comments for the details. We'll type them. And yeah, let's support each other and give the love out there. Okay, her number, I'll just say it out and also type it. It's 081 So if you've got an event you're going and you need traditional clothes, so reach out to her. So there's a comment from Susni where she just left us, but she just said, nice conversations indeed, and we'll catch up. And happy Women's Day tomorrow. So yes, tomorrow it's Women's Day. I'm so excited. And the conversations are still carrying on tomorrow. For three from a one and one at one, the other one 3:30, and then the last one at 6 p.m. with other remarkable women. But what has been quite interesting for me is the theme since the 1st of August, when we had a session with Mrs. Nematehani Muraro. She spoke about start, just start. So, and then today it's about talking about knowing yourself, talking about the moral generation, conscious parenting, and yeah, so I'm loving the theme and what can we do beyond this.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to be part of this, do send me a message and share your message as well. So that what you're gonna say, you find that is gonna plant a seed to someone. You're just gonna be that answer that person that is looking for. So don't shy away and say I cannot speak. Even myself, when I started this, I didn't know how to just come. I just started. So just start wherever you are. So as we're about to end, so As we finish, why did you come here? Why did you have to share this message? Why is it so pertinent to you?
Mashuru, we always think to ourselves many things, and we just sit with them, and we don't say anything about it to other people, and you don't know how impact that can have, or that message can have to one individual at that current state. And these two things that I told you, or I spoke to you about, the new age marriage, and us women having so much impact to our kids, to the new world. I believe it's it has so much impact on women, and I think all of us have a role to play towards it. There's so much damage towards our name as a woman. We are being called names. We are being told that we can't run companies. We cannot hold our emotions, or we cannot be emotionally intelligent. Uh, there are many names that are following us. Why is that? We should ask our questions. Why is that? Why is it that things like this that are being held by Mashudu are only um, 20% or 10% of women, or even 5% or 0.5% of women in South Africa are able to attend. However, if I'd called DJ Dira and or certain many DJs that are coffee or whoever, and in a place, and say we're partying tonight for 2 days, you'd see 80% of women being there, or 90% of women being there. And we need to, I'm not saying that is wrong either. I'm not saying um, I'm not being judgmental, but I'm saying we need to have sessions like this where more women are in this kind of sessions, where we're learning from each other and we're going towards a better future. And this message from me was, it's heartfelt, because I see so many women out there who are, their marriages are failing because of this thing. My husband always talks to me and says, at work, when we sit down as men and we speak, because he works it with a team that is very male dominated, and they're always complaining about, my wife doesn't do anything, my wife doesn't contribute financially toward the household. She's just baggage. No, I'm cheating because I can't handle the stress at home anymore. I'm not at home 90% of the time because my wife is always nagging me about doing that, doing this, and I have to be with so and so. That's how they speak. It's the reality. My husband would tell me, you know, this man doesn't have even money or transport to go to work. They'll end up borrowing money from him, because whole of 90% of the money has been taken by the women, or he has shared it with people that he's cheating with, and then with the wife also. So those women in his life are women that we, us, need to influence, to have in to be independent in their own, and be able to make money in their own, and be able to change people into towards the new age marriage, and raising kids that are going to be able to be better wives, to be better husbands, to be not cheating and all these other things. So bringing that morality back towards the world and towards an individual, be conscious to what you do, that you just spoke about Mashudu. There's just so much. It touches me, touches my husband also when we speak about it, because there's there's so much Mashudu. There's this show that's called I Blew It in YouTube, and it's just so confusing how people waste so much money on useless things. And we think, or I think, it touches me emotionally because I think there is so much for us to teach other young, especially young people, because I believe older people are at a point where they are unteachable. Young people, they're teachable. I teach my sister's daughters because the other one is doing grade 10, the other one is doing grade 12. I teach them to a point where I talk to them as human, not as a child, as a human, that you understand consequences of this and that. Do you understand why do you make a decision like that? Do you understand your choices in life lead to this? So this message from me is very heartfelt and very emotional. And I believe women out there have a role to play, and we have a role to do to be able, not you and people in your house also, but even your friends. When you talk to your friend, don't just listen to your friend saying things that, I hit my husband, and you just laugh and entertain that. If it's something that you don't value, speak to your friend and say the truth that, I don't value um, things like that. Or perhaps if you are afraid to reach out, give your friend a YouTube video that's going to teach your friend to think differently. You know, there's so many ways that we can connect with people other than just being straightforward to the point if you are afraid to do that. Um, I believe there's so much change, DNA. There's so much that we can do, and um, people need to start acting now before we have more matters, before we have more children that don't have mothers, more children that don't have fathers, which are a lot, by the way, and higher rates of women abuse that is happening here in South Africa. Recently, I just saw a video where women abuse apparently is the highest in the world is South Africa. And what are we doing that? What are we doing about that as South Africans, as women in South Africa? So we should rallies and going out there and marching when it's Women's Month in August. Okay, fine. I understand it's a good cause, but after Women's Month in August, it stops. And from from end of August, from starting of September up until the next year in July, then no one is caring about women. No one is talking to another woman and encouraging that woman or giving advice or changing that life's person. No one is doing anything. And then comes Women's Month, then we get to be conscious about what is happening in South Africa to a woman or to a girl child. I'm gonna end there.
Yeah, I'm quite speechless, and what you just mentioned is true, and it resonates with what we discussed yesterday, that we need to take these conversations further. So we are challenged, we're going to take these conversations further, and I'd like you to participate in that as well. So I'll reach out to you so that we can change, because with changing the world, it's not about changing everyone, you just have to change
Yeah.
one life at a time. It has got so many
Yes.
ripple effects. And thank you for your vulnerability and your honesty, and just being you and taking the courage to come and share and talk about these courageous conversations, which we don't like talking about, we just shy away. So it's about looking at your friendships, creating those boundaries, having those difficult conversations. And I see there's a comment here, great insights, pay have to dash. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, so yeah, it has been an hour of awesomeness, and I trust everyone has been inspired, have been empowered, and you know what is new age marriage and the influences and the power that we have as women, and that we shouldn't stop today. So you just asked me to say, so join the conversation is to continue throughout, and which is something that I've been wanting to do throughout the year, but I think everyone that I'm speaking to, they're just putting that rubber stamp, so I better listen and just continue this conversation. And then I see Kusa Mantuli. She just wrote a comment. She says, "This was indeed a powerful conversation. We learn, we grow, and we move forward." Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in, guys. Do share this post to on your timeline. Tag your friends that you feel need to hear this. This was so powerful. Even myself, I just got goosebumps as she was talking. Because she was talking to me, even myself, I'm saying, what else am I doing to change the narrative, to impact lives out there? So there's so much that each person can do. So it's those, you left me those questions. I don't know to you guys what questions she left you with. What is it that you're going to look within yourself and you say you're going to do? And it's not about only women, it's about the world, the country. We need to create the foundation that as we leave this earth, we are happy when we have our last breath, that I've done so much that my kids will still sustain. I've done this so that the generation that are coming through will always, they don't have to go through what you went through by cutting those generational curses. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we are,
Mashuru,
yes.
before you close, I just wanted to say one last thing that I normally don't start with. I'm 27. I'm very, very young. And normally, when I say my age in the beginning, people doze off and they think about my age and things that I'm going to say. So I'm 27. I'm not that experienced in life as person who's 40 or 50 or late 30s, but I'm very thankful for the opportunity and that people heard what I had to say, and it emotionally deeply from me and things that I've learned personally in my life.
Thank you. It's like you read me because I went like, as you're talking, do I say, do you want to mention your age so that people can gauge and understand that it's not about being older? And thank you for answering my question indirectly. So basically, it's not about being older, it's just having that wisdom, and you can get wisdom wherever you are. That is why I was also highlighting earlier that the kids that we have, they are there to help us to learn and relearn new things, to learn things about ourselves. Because at
Mm.
times we take them for granted and we forget the blessing and the gift that they are in our lives because they do so many things. So I'd like to challenge you today, just still on the kids. Go and spend time with your kids. Put your phone away and ask yourself, be intentional when you're playing with them and ask yourself, what is it? Why is this child in my life? What is it that I need to learn and unlearn? And what is the gift that I need to learn from them as well? Because they are planted in your life for a reason. And it doesn't have to be your kids. Every child who's come across your life, ask yourself, what is it that you need to learn from them? And thank you so much. And yeah, age ain't nothing but a number, but it's all about the wisdom and the courage and to be vulnerable, to share. So, guys, I don't see any other comments. I'm closing this, and I think us starting at 5, it was a good thing. So, everything happens for a reason, and it has been an impactful and awesome time having this courageous conversation. So, guys, if you want to participate, please do. And those who will be on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, please share, and so that we can change lives, so that we don't end. This doesn't have to end now in August. You might find that somebody, you might share it next month, somebody will still get that message, and you might change someone's life. Someone might be thinking of killing themselves, thinking like they are not worthy, but there might be something powerful that she said to today that is going to just change that person's life. So everyone has got value. You're never an island, you're a community. Let's continue impacting people. And thank you so much for your time. I know your son was crying. I see now he's quiet. And yeah, give him our warm love and hugs and say thank you for giving us the time to be with you, though it was challenging for him. But thank you so much, and to everyone. So do share, and yeah, Love everyone who's around you, and God loves you more. Remember that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tieni. Bye, Mashudu.
Oh, let me just stop the recording, then I can say bye to you.